The primary reading that I've chosen to assess is Murthy's Towards a Sociological Understanding of Social Media, Theorising Twitter. Murthy starts by including an example from Dence's play about the telegraph, which finds familiarity with modern-day individuals due to the similarities between the blurring boundaries of public and private of the telegraph and new social media. The telegraph finds most similarity with Twitter, both restricted in length and both able to send a message publicly. Like new social media, the telegraph splits society, with some viewing it as wonderfully useful and ingenious, while others viewed it as dumbing down society and ruining the art of letter writing. The same can be said for Twitter. Twitter is seen to threaten blogging and other electronic rights-baiting actions. Murthy suggests that each new media form can serve to highlight the permanence of its predecessor. Twitter is viewed as a unique form of social media, with it provoking updates from other users on a regular basis, and with it also being free to use public or semi-public. Murthy makes the distinction between social networking and social media sites, explaining that Twitter belongs to the category of social media, as it is ordinary people creating and disseminating their own news, whereas a social networking site involves individuals creating lists of people, friends, as Facebook labels them, with whom a connection is shared. Social networking sees following to be bidirectional, whereas social media users can choose whose tweets they receive, but not necessarily who receives theirs. Twitter is a microblog because it is restricted to 140 characters per tweet, and the nature of that tweet sharing a personal view or news, like a blog. Twitter, like all social media, is heavily involved with self-presentation. Bourdieu claims that as tweets that have become regular updates about meals can be labelled mundane, the mundane and boring is still hugely involved with meaning. It still speaks volumes about the self that the user wants to portray. Gackenbach calls this inventing the self. Through social media, it can be notable that users can invent their self to be whatever they wish. Also could be what makes it so popular. Twitter, like any communication technology, shapes our social world. However, Twitter doesn't control daily life, but allows users to intensify characteristics of their daily lives. Murthy recognises that Goffman's work can be useful for understanding mediated interactions, as theorised by Satina. Twitter falls into this as its interactions are mediated by Twitter itself and computers. One way of viewing Goffman's work is to view it as to understand Twitter is to understand how we talk. Murthy introduces some of Goffman's key concepts, including that the words we speak are often not our own. This could relate to Twitter, as it is common for people to almost completely copy tweets of others. Goffman's work on talk can be successfully extended to many different forms of communication, including new media communication like Twitter, Facebook, and text messages. In terms of Goffman's theory of ritualization, tweets can be seen to be full of gestural conventions, despite being computer-mediated, for example, ... to indicate a pause. Participation framework. The sender of the tweet knows that there is somewhere an audience for that tweet. People's different participation status relative to the tweet mean that they perceive or receive it differently. To some it may mean nothing or be of no interest, to others it may be of huge interest or mean a lot. Embedding. Twitter re-embeds tweets into the situational space of another Twitter user through the action of retweeting. Overall, Murthy has discussed how Twitter enables individuals to become more acquainted with other people's habits and interests, and how this can be explained from a sociological viewpoint. For example, Goffman's work on talk provides particularly useful, as tweets are fundamentally individuals using talk to interact over the medium of Twitter.